Hello and welcome, dear students. This video is a non-didactic video where a sample of speaking and listening project is shared. This is specifically for grades 11 and 12. Let us begin. The total marks for speaking and listening comprise of 20 marks, out of which 10 marks were covered in term 1 and 10 marks for 10 2. That is 10 marks for term 2. Out of these 10 marks, the assessments for listening and speaking includes a project work and viva. That means the students will work on a research project and they will present it at least a fortnight or a month earlier, and then it will be the examiner will go through it and face their viva during their presentation. There are different ways of presentations that the students can present a video while they have already presented their work, recorded video, and submit that along with the project, where the examiner or the teacher may pose a question during the class hours. There are different approaches to doing it for grade 11, whereas grade 12 will definitely have an external examination. The grade 11 students may have an invigilator or an examiner would who could be a teacher who is not teaching grade 11. Thus, um, the teacher qualifies to be an external examiner. Now let us proceed. What are the objectives of doing this project? The objectives are to enhance all the linguistic skills. Linguistic skills in reading are in English are reading, writing, speaking, and listening, and the skills of thinking can also be included. That means a fifth skill. So all the linguistic skills to explore and critically analyze the concept, to imbibe a different perspective towards a problem, to develop leadership and collaborative skills, to use innovation to present the concept, to hone creative and problem solving skills. These are quite a number of skills which a student may take up either individually or as a team. If the students take up as a team, these objectives can be divided and the collaborative skills will definitely come up when they combine the project. Let us see how this work is allocated. Orientation by the teacher. It is done definitely in the beginning of the term, most probably in the beginning of term 2 because the project is for term 2. The selection of the team leader, the team should definitely select a leader who will delegate the task, the team will work under the guidance of the leader. The selection of the topic should take place. Either the teacher can give 2 or 3 topics and the students can select one topic, or the teacher can give one specific topic and guide them throughout. And the team leader members can select or divide the subtopics uh, the, among themselves. And the project is to be allocated. For example, it is for 1,000 words and there are 4 team members. The word limit can also be divided. Then comes the identification of goal or the objectives. The students may select the objectives from the given objectives, and there is a need for a driving question. Then the identification of goals and objectives, then delegation of work to each team member. The team member, that is the team leader, will decide what part will be done by each team leader. So that particular team member is the leader of that specific part and he or she is answerable for only that part. So while presentation also, the student may present only the specific part allocated to the student and the viva will be pertaining to only that part. Thus, the complete project is divided. It is easier for the teacher to assess because the entire class will come as 4 or 5 teams instead of coming as individual teams where the teacher has to go through all the projects. Then comes to the creation and the submission of the final draft. This is also done several times during the term that the students can project their or submit their first draft where they write an essay or a report which is the structural form in the structural form, and they collect the feedback from the teacher in order to improve and work further. Then comes the moderations according to the teacher's feedback and suggestions. When the teacher has given them a feedback, the students need to work on it. Submissions of the first draft to the subject teacher, and then they have to work on it again, and then comes the final draft. So it goes in the process of, for example, the orientation given by the teacher, then it is the selection of the team leader, the identification of objects, delegation of work to the team members, evaluation of the, that means execution of the plan. The students by that time have a plan and they need to execute it, and then the submission to the teacher. The teacher gives them a feedback. After the feedback, they moderate it and they submit the final draft. So these are quite a number of stages the students are supposed to go in the order. Let us proceed. By October, the students are to be given the target or guidelines. Preparation for November and December, that means this is the time the students are going to work on their project. Their presentation is definitely in January, and Viva they will face in February and March. This was proposed by the board. It may result maybe in a delay of a week or so, or submission a little earlier, but it should not go beyond this specific guidelines. Now here's a sample submitted by one of the students. Quite a few excerpts are presented over here. The students worked on evolving food tastes among the youth. The team leader, now out of the number of students, the person who is presenting it, that person's name should be on the top, and the remaining team members' name should be at the bottom. Now, for example, if Kaushik is presenting in this project, Kaushik's name should be here, and Kartikeya's name should be down here. This all these students, if suppose Ayush is presenting his project, Ayush's name will be on the top, and the remaining names will be at the bottom as team members. Then the grade and section. Then the photographs followed by the photographs. If you have anything for illustration, if it is your own project, photographs, that is good enough. If you have conducted interviews, you can post interview photographs as a cover page. This is the index page. Index page is a must, which shows the serial number, topic, and the page numbers, the statement of purpose, acknowledgement, certificate of completion, and action plan, followed by the essay, script, or report. This is the major part where you're going to write, supported by data and graphs. Then you have students group and reflections, and the list of resources or bibliography. Let us have a look at it one by one. Suppose it is the cover page. After the cover page, you have your introductory page. Yes, you write your CBSE assessment of listening and speaking project, term 2, grade 11 or grade 12, and the academic year. Name of the student, grade and section, roll number, and the name of your school. Then you write your topic, the topic that is selected, and then you write the approach. What was your approach? Whether it was an electronic survey, whether it was an interview based research, whether it was an internet research, or whether you spoke to people, say at random, and you reached a survey and data, and then you sorted and you worked out what is your mode of the project. You need to specify very clearly. Then the statement of purpose. The of purpose are the objectives which were read out earlier. You may pause the video and read it widescreen if you prefer writing it from the screen. Then we have the next part, that is the acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is the part where you are giving credit to the people who have helped you in completing this project. It can also be gratitude to your teachers or the support whoever has guided you. For example, this project is from a student, and the student is grateful to the CBSE and the school for allowing him to explore the relevant, reliable issues and hone his language skills, collaborative and leadership skills. And now, because of completion of the project, would not have been possible without the kind support of many individuals, and by one the person is thanking. Begin with the highest hierarchy. For example, you're thanking your principal, then you may thank your teacher, then you may thank your classmates. That is how you will continue. You may also show gratitude to auxiliary staff if they have done and contributed anything towards your project. Next is the certificate of completion. This sample is present in your journals, so this sample will definitely be available in your journals. If you can refer that and write it down, it will be quite helpful. This is to certify that so and so is a this file is a bona fide work of so and so, the name of the person of grade 12, 11A or 12A, roll number, whatever is the roll number assigned to you during the academic year. The project fulfills all the stated criteria and the student findings are his or own original work. I recommend the project for evaluation. It will be signed by the teacher in charge and then the examiner. This can also have the school seal if it is a grade 12 project. Then is your action plan. This action plan should be a part of your project and it should be presented how you went about it and what did you do. For example, it is orientation by the teacher and the creation of teams. That's the first thing. Identification of goals and objectives. Then the selection of team leader, selection of the topic and the mode of the project under the guidance of the subject teacher. Delegation of work to each team member, brainstorming and a formulation of a logical, deliverable, and practical plan. Why is it said deliverable? That means do not take up any plan which you may not be able to execute. Next, you have the execution of the plan. This is the major part where you're going to do some indulge in certain actions, either field work or conduct a survey, interview, etc. Then you have your submission of the first draft to the subject teacher. The subject teacher will give you feedback. Then you are supposed to moderate it according to the teacher's feedbacks and suggestions. When the teacher has given you a feedback and suggestions, then definitely you are going to edit it further and the creation and submission of the final draft. The sample looks somewhat like this. The essay or the script or the report, usually it is called a report or an essay because it is a very natural flow of work that you have done. For example, this world is an ever-changing place with a constant change of many things also continue to evolve. If we compare the food we eat now to that of 70 years ago, we find that most of our diet consists of processed food. So the introductory is quite well explained and the thesis statement is also very clear, that is highly influenced by what we see on social media. So the various changes in the food sector, development in agricultural and increased use of additives, dyes, preservatives, and vocabulary of unpronounceable ingredients have all contributed to a massive evolution of tastes among people, especially among the youth. So you can see the introductory part is quite self-explanatory and the person can get an idea what is the project all about. You may pause the video and read it widescreen if you prefer reading the remaining part of the report. The report continues. If you want to read it, you may pause the video and read it widescreen so that the fonts are large enough to be read. The report adds quite a few data which the student had collected and used it for analysis and evaluation. You can see that the study found that more than half of the participants, that is 60.30%, consumed junk food over the last 30 days, more prevalent among public school participants, that is 65.1%, followed by participants of private schools, that is 56.3%. If you've conducted any such research, convert it into percentage and try using it in your writing. It can be followed by a graph or certain survey that you have found online. You can see fast food was healthier in the 1980s. This piece of information is already present on the Forbes statistics. So it is taken from there and used in your assignment. And at the bottom of the assignment, that means in bibliography, you can give your the reference from where you have taken this. The report continues with additional data and information. You may pause the video and read it widescreen. The report continues. The report continues with additional points mentioning the benefits, pros and cons, that is the demerits, the negative results of wasting food. Then, if you have conducted any research and you have your data tabulated, you can convert it into a survey or a pie chart, etc., so that your data is understood. Do you think junk food is consumed in healthy amounts presently? People answered the survey, and this is how is the outcome. No is the major part, 83%, and yes is a minor part. And the question, do you think it was easier to have healthy eating habits 40 to 50 years ago than present day? People answered in yes, 100% it was healthier. And no one answered no. So that means that can be ruled out. Another question in your survey, how many times have you consumed junk food over the last 30 days? People have answered about 4 to 5 times, 4 to 6 times. That is a major part of it. And more time, that means larger than that, quite a few people. That means people are more prone to junk food. That is what is readable from the survey. Then this particular seems the question is not visible here, but let us see. Fast food. Fast food is quite a major part of it, and then generally any food eaten outside. So that means people prefer eating outside food or going to restaurants, and then any type of food that is fast food. So that general trend is to eat outside the house instead of eating home cooked food. So that is also one way of presenting your data. The report happens to continue further. The data is used in writing. It you can it's quite visible. Data is used here in percentage. 100% of the participants believe that this data is used that so that it is used for analysis. These paragraphs are for analysis writing. The report continues 18 years of age and a large majority. This is based on the survey that you had conducted. The If you have targeted teenagers, you may discuss the kind of teenagers, the age group which prefers eating outside, and the age group that prefers eating or ordering from outside. You can see additional piece of information with certain data during the times of stress. How does the consumption of the unhealthy food differ? This question was also asked in your survey, and when you receive the response, you have tabulated that information, and after tabulating it, you convert it into a diagram, that is pie chart, and you have used only the pie chart over here with the key. The report ends, and it is up to you whether you want to use certain illustrations or not. And after that, you have your reflections. The person who has written the assignment, that person will present the reflections first as self-reflection, and then you may go on to the, it is a continuation, you can see, with the group reflection. The group reflection is can be shown bold over here. The group reflection you need to collect from your team members and present in your report as well. You may watch it widescreen. This is followed by the list of resources or bibliography. In most of the cases, because you have conducted internet research, so you can share the link, or if you have you want to share it in the MLA or APA style, you need to write the name of the person, the year, etc. with the link of the website exists. But this is, since you are a beginner, you may use only the links of the websites that you have visited. Now, to summarize this, you must have got an idea that this particular project for speaking and listening is a small part of your portfolio. It gets added up in your portfolio. You begin with a cover page with the title of the project, school details, and details of the students. You have the statement of purpose, objectives or goals. Then you have the certificate of completion under the guidance of your teacher, action plan for the completion of the assigned task. Materials such as scripts for theatre, role play, questionnaires for interview, written assignments, essays, surveys, reports, or if you've conducted interviews, you can have your interview questions also inserted in that. If you have conducted a survey, you can show your survey questions and the question options that you've used. Students reflection or group reflection, evidence of their research, survey, interviews, etc. can also be added as shown, list of resources and bibliography, and after that you can add an additional page of appendix. Appendix can have photographs and other resources which you would like to share. With this, we have come to the end of this sample of the report for assessment of speaking and listening. It is essential for grades 11 and 12 to work on this and submit it in advance before appearing for the speaking and listening test. All the best to you and have a nice day. Thank you so much.